So I've been an owner operator for the last 20 years. And in those 20 years, I've driven almost everything you could possibly think of. From dry vans to triples and doubles, containers. I've driven reefers, flatbeds, end dumps, dump trucks, cargo vans. I even have 12 hours of flight time, right? So you can honestly say that all of my adult life has been in transportation, at least most of it. And so that being said, I truly hope you guys value my opinion. What's up, YouTube? This is RJ. So, like I said in the intro, man, I've been driving for over 20 years, right? And so, in those 20 years, man, it's been a lot of up and downs. And I can honestly say I've probably faced almost every kind of situation that you possibly could face as an owner-operator. So, a little story about me is I taught myself how to drive a truck. I was a merchandiser at a beer company. The beer company had a program to where they give the drivers tests. And then you take their certificate, you go and get your actual CDL license at DMV. So as a merchandiser, after I would merchandise, I would go to the back of this building and I would teach myself how to drive trucks. They had like a big parking lot in the back, and they had all their trucks, and their trucks just kept their keys in the truck. So I would go back there. Of course, I had permission from my supervisor. I would go back there and I would drive and teach myself how to back up, teach myself how to drive an actual truck with a trailer on it. Then, of course, back then, because this is around 2004, 2003, back then you had to know all the engine parts of the vehicle. So I went and bought a book that had all the engine parts to the Freightliner that I was on, and I studied, and I actually pull up the hood every day after I finished driving, and I looked at each part, and I memorized the parts of the engine, right? And so fast forward, I got my CDL once I was 21. And so I started driving the side load trailers. You know, the ones that you pull up, you get shit out of it, you pull them back down. Okay. After Hurricane Katrina, I went to Atlanta. I started driving for FedEx. So that's why I started doing dry vans and triples and doubles. After that, I got into a lot of trouble. I wound up going to jail twice, right? And the first time, the cops actually came to FedEx. They came to FedEx looking for me, and as soon as FedEx found that out, they fired me. They didn't even ask like why they was up there looking for me. They just let me go. So I went to jail. I got out. Long story short, I went right back to jail. Once I got out the second time, by this time I already had my son. So I found money. I found ways to make money illegally. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. You guys are family. And I wound up getting enough money, $10,000, and I went and bought my first truck. Now, anybody that's in trucking know $10,000 for a truck, that truck ain't shit. I'm just gonna be real with you, it ain't shit. And it wasn't. It was a time, like stuff was constantly breaking on it and everything, and changing tires. I had to put a whole bunch of shit into it before I even was able to put it on the road. But I did that, right? I got me a Freightliner, and I wound up getting a contract with this container company. So I was moving containers out there, going to the ports. They putting it on my chassis, and I take it off and I bring it to where it needs to go. Then I bring it back to the port, right? And so after that, I moved and from Georgia to Houston, and I started doing tankers. Now I'm moving oil. Okay, so I'm moving oil. They're sending me different places. I don't like it, because they sending me to like a different place, and then you have to stay in hotels or whatever, because wherever the oil is pumping, as far as in oil companies, that's where they're sending most of their drivers, because it fluctuates. People don't understand, like, oil doesn't just pump all the time. It's certain times where it might be a lot of oil, and then it slows down, and then you have to go to like another field or something like that might be far away, and then they just send you out there, and then you're out there for a couple weeks. So of course I didn't like that. So I moved from doing tankers to doing end dumps. So now I'm moving sand and clay. So I'm moving sand and clay. I'm doing this company and stuff. My truck just gave out. So I wound up getting a whole nother truck. So now I got a truck note and I'm with this company. Mind you, with you do sand and clay, because I'm trying to give you guys game, just in case you're thinking about going to like another company or something like that. So when you're doing sand and clay, when it rains, you don't work because you're picking up sand and clay. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these places you're going like all the way in the field and it's a whole bunch of dirt everywhere. So if it rains, it's all the trucks are getting stuck. So a lot of times you might, you know what I'm saying, have to wait 2 or 3 days after it rains for you to even be able to go and start working again. I didn't know that. They didn't tell me that. I didn't know that. So I go to a company. For some reason, around that time, it started like raining a lot and shit. You know what I'm saying? And so the whole month would go by and I might work like maybe out of the month, maybe 10 days. Okay. So that was bad. So after that, I was already in the hole because I wasn't making as much money. My truck note was like $1,300 at the time. And so I'm not making a lot of money. Right. So I go to a different company doing the same thing, moving sand and clay in dumps. Right. And now I'm going from construction sites. I'm doing the same thing like dump truck drivers, do. And so in my mind, I'm like, I'm just going to try to give me a dump truck and put a driver in a dump truck. So that's what I did. So I had my van, my tractor, and I had my end dump trailer, and I had a dump truck that I used to drive on the weekend, and I had a driver driving it throughout the week. My actual truck would just sit on the weekend just because I didn't want to put too many miles on it. I was paying on it. And so that company wound up going under, doing shady business. I'm not going to put their name out there, but they was doing a whole bunch of shady ass business and shit. And all their contracts started like small, slowly but surely started getting out of their contracts. So before I know it, they're not telling us nothing. Before I know it, 2 months going by and me and my driver really not working, right? So push come to shove, my note is already behind. I have a driver that I haven't been really paying it. So I put out a way to where my driver can take over my dump truck. So I tried to have it to where I can help him get the dump truck. And so that's what I did. And so I slowly transitioned it into his name and everything. And I paid for like a couple months on the note for him. And he took over the notes and everything, right? I took my tractor to another company after that, and they were doing flatbeds, which I absolutely hate. That shit is stupid. That shit is trash. I don't like it. Some people might like it. It's cool or whatever, but out strapping stuff and working outside and you have to get out your truck and sometimes it's hot. You trying to strap stuff down. Then you're always looking in your rear view thinking that shit about to fall. Like, I didn't like it at all. So my thought was I'm just going to put a driver in it and let him do the flatbeds. And that's what I did. I put a driver in there and I let him drive flatbeds. One day, my driver got pissed off at a stop. He told them that he wasn't going to take this load, and he left. Didn't call me, didn't tell the company, nothing like that. He just said that he wasn't about to do that. He wasn't about to do all that work because I think it was like an oversized load, and it was a little bit over the amount or whatever. And I don't know, for some reason he didn't want to do it. It is what it is, right? So he left it, right? It caused a big issue with the company I was with. Now, mind you, I never had any issues with this company. Not one. He does that one time, they cancel the contract, right? So now he's already upset with me because he's not working, even though it's actually his fault. And so he's trying to sue me or whatever. And it wound up getting canceled and everything because, of course, like I was paying him and everything. And he had no reason to really sue me except his feelings was hurt. And he possibly thought that he could continuously work, you know what I'm saying, and provide for his family. So I'm understanding about that. Like I said, I love everybody. I believe everybody is a treasure soul from God. So I don't have any ill will towards him. I understand you're trying to feed your family, and now I'm telling you that this company, letting us go. And so, long story short, I wound up losing my truck. I couldn't pay my truck note. I had to go through a whole issue with him, going back and forth to court, and I wound up losing my truck. And so from then I went to a company driving position, right? And so with this company driver position, now I'm doing reefers. Now I'm moving like food and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And so with this company, they kept me running, but I wasn't making shit. And anybody know, if you have a CDL, it's no way you should make under $1,000 a week. Like point blank period. Like anybody that's driving as a CDL driver and you're not making at least $1,000 a week, you're shooting yourself in the foot, because that CDL is like having a diploma. It's like having a PhD, right? And so you should treat it like that, such. Like, so people will try to like make you get into a company and the company suck, you know what I'm saying, and not pay you. But you shouldn't go for that. And I'm just telling you, if you're still trying to be an owner operator, I'm telling you that you want to at least make $1,000 a week as a CDL driver. So, you know, I go through that transition. I wind up losing my truck. Now I'm driving for a company. Then I move again. Once I move again, then I drive for an owner operator, right? Because at this point I don't have my truck. So now I'm driving for an owner operator and I'm doing tankers again. I'm doing oil. Now I'm doing oil in Colorado, right? And I'm going back and forth and stuff. And so, long story short, shit happens with that one too, right? And the craziest thing with that is that at this time I'm working, and I put this on everything that I love. I got a no seatbelt ticket, a no seatbelt ticket, a no seatbelt ticket. And because of the no seatbelt ticket, they cut me. The driver, the owner said that the company, they didn't want us having no tickets, and I don't even know. And I'm being 100% honest with you. I don't even understand how that could be an issue. But he wound up letting me go, right? And so after that, I wound up like not being in trucks for a while. I kind of let it go or whatever. And so I started focusing more so on trying to get a pilot's license. And so that's when I was saying that I have like 12 hours of flight time. Once after that 12 hours, I already had spent like damn near a couple $1,000s just on 12 hours of flight time. Mind you, you need like 150. So I still had a whole bunch of time to go, and I didn't have enough money for it. So I had to let that dream go. And so, of course, now I'm in the cargo van and everything, but I just want you guys to understand, like, the progression of you trying to be an owner operator, you trying to get on with a good company, you trying to provide for your family. And there's so many things that might happen that has nothing to do with you, that might be out of your control. A lot of things. When I got the no seatbelt, I was coming out of a gas station in my truck. I was coming out of a gas station. As soon as I got on the road, I got pulled over. Like, it's not like I was driving on the highway without a seatbelt. You know what I'm saying? So it's just simple stuff like that, to where I could have just easily put it on there once I got on the road. And the officer, even the DOT guy, even saw me coming out of the gas station, because at that time I was sick. I was real sick, and I had a load, and I stopped at a store. It was just like a little store. I don't know, it was like a little storefront, like Food City or some shit like that, just to get orange juice. That's all I went up in there, to get orange juice, because I was feeling actually physically sick. And another thing, like, even when you're sick, you still have to work, because if you don't work, you don't get paid. So as an owner operator, I'm always like working sick. And that shit alone sucks. Because I know there's a lot of owner operators that still work while they're feeling sick and while they're sneezing and all this other stuff, but they have to work, because if you don't work, you don't make money. And so I pulled out, and he gave me the ticket. But like I said, there's so many things that could happen that has nothing to do with you as a person, you as an owner operator. You know what I'm saying? Somebody hit you and take you out. You know what I'm saying? Like, something happens with your truck, it breaks down. Like, I didn't even get into all the breakdowns. Like, that's just my progression, because I'm trying to get through the video. But even between that, I've had breakdowns. I've had turbos go out. I've had belts, split on me. I've had, blowouts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've had my fifth wheel, like, don't lock anymore. Like, it's been a lot. And then when you bring your truck somewhere, like you get it towed or something, or your cargo van, wherever you get it towed to, if it's not running, whatever they say, you're going to have to take it. It's not like you could just take it and bring it somewhere else. Like, if they say, oh, this is going to be $5,000, you can't be like, oh, well, I'm just going to take it. They already got it. They already took it apart. They already, seeing what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times you have to pay it, regardless of whatever the number is. So I'm just letting you guys understand, like, especially if you just getting started in owner operating, or you've been there for a while, like, it's so many situations to where it really can affect you, like, mentally, physically, personally, financially, relationship wise, like even being gone all the time, trying to make money. Because most people that make the most money as an owner operator, they always on the road. Like there's a few local people that can make money, but if you local, you hustling and bustling. Like you out there 10 hours, but you out there like really getting it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people that want like a little easier on them, they do over the road. And even that over the road, it still takes a lot on your relationship with your wife or your kids, you know what I'm saying? Or your significant other, whoever that is. Relationship with yourself, working out, you know what I'm saying? Eating right. Like you can't do that when you're on the road, right? So in my opinion, if I can go back 20 years, I probably would have started like something online or tried to find some other way of making money that didn't require me to always be behind this wheel. Because when I'm not behind this wheel, it causes anxiety. And it's been like that for 20 years. To the point where if you don't be behind this wheel, I guarantee you as an owner operator, if you go at least like 3-4 days without working, you'll start feeling anxiety. Like, oh shit, I have to start working. And Lord forbid that for some reason you can't work. Like you're really sick or something really bad happens and you really can't work. If you don't have like money put to the side, you're going to feel it. Everything's cool when everything's going well. When you're working all the time and you having loads and stuff, it feels great. It's the greatest business you can have. But I can tell you, if you really talk to like real owner operators, not these people on online, but real owner operators that's been really doing this shit all the time, they're going to tell you they most likely have more bad days than good days. But you get paid pretty well. And by I mean pretty well, I mean like 6 figures. But you don't get paid that great. You know what I'm saying? And so now that I'm now after 20 years, I'm understanding that even with you making 6 figures a year, if you're not putting it or investing it into something, if you're not starting like an online business or investing into stocks or something like that, you're really shooting yourself in the foot, because 20 years later, you'll still be in the same predicament. Living a decent life, paying your bills, but don't have shit to show for it. And I'm just being 100 with you, like for real. So I really hope that you're understanding that you have to treat being an owner operator, whether it's cargo vans, whether it's dump trucks, whether it's trucks, semis, whatever the case may be. But you have to treat that shit like it's a job. The same way you would go to a job and you'll work a 9 to 5. And if you're trying to get out of that situation and start your own shit, you'll put money to the side or you invest your money so you don't have to work this job no more. You better do that same shit as an owner operator. Because please do not think that if you're an owner operator, you about to be balling. Because that shit is not like that. You can look at other owner operators and tell they not fucking balling. Like real owner operators, people that own their truck and they driving their truck, not like fleet, operators like they have a whole bunch of trucks. I'm talking about owner operators, the motherfuckers that wake up every day and they work for themselves. They be looking like they broke down. You know what I'm saying? Like most of them don't have. I ain't gonna shit on them. I ain't just gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? But if you really look at them, like the real ones, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can tell that it takes a toll on your body. Driving over the road takes a toll on your body. That's why a lot of them are out of shape and have like all kind of health issues. You know what I'm saying? That's why DOT makes it to where you have to have a physical, because motherfuckers be like losing their shit. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of drivers, they make them stop driving just because they're getting out of shape and their eyesight is getting bad, and then they're getting sleepy and stuff on the time. Like, they're drinking, caffeine and smoking cigarettes just to stay up, just to kind of get to their lows. And so my job, my calling, I feel like, is I don't want other people to go through 20 years of that type of bullshit and still have nothing to show for it. So if you're doing something with your money as an owner operator, then you good. But if you're not, you better start figuring out what to do. You better start figuring out another way to make money, or try to help to have some kind of automations, some passive income or something, man. Because I'm begging you guys, like, you don't realize that if something bad happens, like real bad happens, as owner operators, most of them don't have the money to take care of that shit. Unless you single and you just out here working all the time. Like, I have a partner of mine, you know what I'm saying? Like, he would just drive from California to Georgia, and that was his route. But he was single, he didn't have no kids. And so he would make like $3,000 a week, but he doesn't have anybody to even take care of, right? And so just understand, even him, he's not in no position to where he's like chilling. He's still driving. So apparently he's been doing something with the little money that he's been making. But just understand, like these days and age, just making $100,000 a year isn't a lot of money. People go broke and like go bankrupt making $100,000, like all the time, all the time. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you make $100,000 and then you living in a house and, you know, your house is only like $40,000 or $50,000, you live in some like little, you know, small house or a small apartment, then kudos to you. But the person that I want to be, I want to live a certain type of life. I don't want to have to stay in a $450 a month apartment. As a man, as a father, as a husband, I don't want to have to put my kids or my wife into an apartment, knowing I make six figures just because if I put it into something else, something else might happen. Right? So I want you guys to live in abundance, like absolute abundance. No stress. Don't have to worry about, you know, driving and breaking down and people on the road. Like, I really want you guys to live in abundance. And if I can do it all over again, if I can go back 20 years, that's what I would do. I would start something online, some kind of business, or even some kind of business to where I don't have to drive in my truck. Because even now, 20 years later, I'm still not mentally the type of individual to where I want to have like a whole bunch of drivers. I don't want to deal with people calling me, telling me that they can't come in today and now I have to drive the truck. You know what I'm saying? Or try to find some ways to get this person. Oh, this truck breaks down and now he's mad because he's not working. And now I have to find another truck to put him in. And then I have to take this person out this truck and put him over here. And now the company that I'm contracting with, they calling me and asking why this load isn't here. Like, I never wanted to deal with that type of shit. If you that type of person, then that's cool. If you can manage people and you cool with that, drivers, because drivers are assholes sometimes. The ones that's not owner operators that don't understand, like, this is my vehicle. Like, you're driving my vehicle. Like, I pay every month for this vehicle. I pay insurance for this vehicle. I fix it. You know what I'm saying? It's my baby. Like, I bought this. But they don't understand that because they just drivers. Owner operators, we understand this is our moneymaker. Like, if this doesn't work, we don't work. You know what I'm saying? So just dealing with all that type of shit, dealing with drivers and multiple trucks breaking down and all that, I just never wanted to do that. So me personally, I would have started like something online. Even if I did this like part-time, even if I had it to where I had one driver in my truck and I'm doing something else online. That way I'm making two different incomes. But as far as like driving professionally, like, I really hope you guys are really opening your eyes and understanding that shit isn't all it's cracked up to be. And this is coming from somebody who's been doing it. Like, I've been honestly doing it. Like, I'm not just fluffing this shit. I'm not just saying stuff and just trying to get money out of people. Like, I've actually been doing this for 20 years. And so I feel like I should have enough respect to where my opinion should matter. And my opinion is all this shit that I've been through trying to be an owner operator. There's so many people that had less work, you know what I'm saying, less stress, that hasn't gone through half the shit I've gone through, that's been millionaires. Millionaires. Don't get it misconstrued and think that if you make six figures that you balling. Like, that's not what it is these days. That's not what it is in 2025. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. You got to at least make like 250 to live comfortably here in America. With Trump, I really hope that you guys are opening up and seeing like what's going on, like especially in the news and all that. Like, it's a lot of shit going on. And if you don't have your shit together, I'm scared of what might happen to you, to your family, to your wife, to your kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, the shit is real. It's really real. And so I'm hoping that if I could awaken somebody think outside the box. Don't think that having a truck is a kill all. Like, if I get a truck, then everything's going to solve my problems, because it's really not in the long scheme of things. Now, if you're trying to build generational wealth, if you're trying to make sure that your kids have money in a bank for when they turn 18 and they don't have to worry about anything. If you're the type of individual that you wish that your parents would have gave you a house and some money when you graduated, you know what I'm saying? Or when you became an adult or when you got married, then become that person. Why not become that person that you wish you had? But as an owner operator, you can't be that. You can't. Your money is going towards your lifestyle, going towards you doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like setting up your kids and your kids, you're not going to do that as an owner operator, as driving one truck. You're not. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but there's 20 years of it telling you that you're not. And I've had jobs where I made $3,000 a week, $2,000 a week. You know what I'm saying? $2,500 a week. Like, so I know what I'm talking about. So I really hope that you guys understand this, and I really hope that you guys, like, you know, take this advice well. Start something small. You can start something small online, but start something. All right, guys. So look, I don't want to keep on holding y'all. I know I might be rambling. I'm just really passionate about this, and I really want you guys to understand what's at stake, right? Because not only do I love my children, I love my children's children, like the kids that's not even here yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about them. Like, I know it's hard to think about past the now, past the present, but you really have to start really focusing on your kids, your wife, your family, and your legacy. Right? So if that's something that you're looking to do, if that's something that's been on your mind, that you're trying to like get out of the rat race, and you're trying to like build it to where you're not stressed about having to have loads, then man, just if you can, like, I'm not trying to stress anybody, but just understand I'm starting a newsletter. And so in this newsletter, I'm trying to teach owner operators how to begin their own online businesses, whether it's in AI, whether it's in e-commerce, whether it's in selling goods online, reselling, whatever the case may be. But I really want to help you guys not have to rely on being behind this wheel. So in the description, I'm going to leave a link for you to join my newsletter, and it'll give you updates on things that you might see important. You know what I'm saying? Different ways for you to kind of get out of this mode and start really building generational wealth. Start thinking about your grandkids now before they're here. You know what I'm saying? Start thinking about your kids' future, your kids' education. Start thinking about having a life insurance just in case something bad happens to you, that your family won't be out on the street and having to live with somebody. My biggest thing is I don't even want my wife to have to go and find some man to help her take care of my kids. You know what I'm saying? I want her to be able to take care of whatever she needs to take care of. And so that means that me having, you know, life insurance, me having money put to the side for them, me investing in assets that make them money. You know what I'm saying? So look, please understand that if that's you, if you're looking to try to change your future, you know what I'm saying, change your kids' future, then I really hope that you guys join the newsletter. I have a PDF that helps you get kind of to your first 1,000 online. You know what I'm saying? It's what I've used to make $1,000 last week, right? So I made it to where if you do join the newsletter, you get the PDF. You also get an audio to the PDF. You know what I'm saying? So if you're an owner operator and, you know, you're driving, but you still want the information, you can listen to it as well. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that I'm giving to you guys to kind of help you start up, you know what I'm saying? And also get you into the newsletter to where I'm sending you information every week, you know, about different things that you could possibly do online, you know, and because I'm really trying to help as many people as possible, man, for real. And all the information that I'm finding out, all these keen ways of making money, all these ways that you can use AI to like make money on the side and they can work for you while you're asleep. Like, you got to get this information. For real, please. And I started making money online with a 12-pack bundle that I have that I'm reselling. It has master resale rights, right? So if you're interested in that as well, to where you can buy this bundle, you can learn from the bundle, learn how to do digital marketing, learn how to market any product that you might have, and then you can resell the actual product, the actual bundle. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a win-win situation to where you can learn from it and you can actually sell it to make a profit. Right? Or you can give away, or you can use it as something to get people into a community or into something that you're trying to build. But it's super helpful, especially if you're an owner operator and you're not too keen on, you know, social media and online presence and emails and all this other stuff. Like, if you don't really know too much about that, then I would encourage you to at least pick up the bundle. It's only $50. It's only $49.99. Like, and you can do afterpay with it as well. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to come out of full pocket right now, but it can definitely help you get out of this situation. that you don't even really realize that you're in right now, right? So, like I said, I hope you guys have a blessed day. I hope you guys subscribe, comment. If you need any help with anything, man, if you need any help starting an online business or you know, figuring out what company to go to or what, you know, anything, man, like, just hit me up in the comments. I got you. Like, I'm here. I'm really here to help as many people as possible, man, because I don't want nobody to go through the same shit I've been going through, right? All right, so you guys have a blessed week. I love you.